and you can figure out how to fold it, then the sky's the limit. Howdy, I'm Daniel with Roslyn Rags, and welcome to a tie-dye tutorial. In this video, I would like to show how I do a dog paw on this bandana, and this is 100% cotton bandana that has been soaked in a soda ash solution, and I folded it in half. And I'm drawing the two, or the main pad of the paw, and then the other two paws. And since I folded it in half, I just have to worry about half the dog paw. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the pad, and I'm going to do a series of fan folds or accordion folds along the line that I just drew. And they're probably about half an inch, a little less than half an inch tall. And I'm just progressing along the line that I made, trying to make sure that they're as even as I can make them. Hopefully you can see this okay. And with tie-dye, if it's symmetrical and you can figure out how to fold it, then the sky's the limit. There's a lot of different ways to fold something, but fan folding is just a nice, easy way. For me, it's hard to cross lines when you're tie-dyeing, but as long as nothing crosses, then you can do a lot of different things with symmetry. So I have the main pad done. Now I'm going to do just this top piece. So I have some artificial sinew now, and I'm going to do this top pad, and I'm just going to kind of arbitrarily start, and I'm going to fan fold along that line that I just made. And I normally will kind of just fan fold along this line until I can't really get any further, and then I'll finish on this line, and then there'll just be a little bit of loose cotton that's not fan folded that I'll just try and put evenly with the rest of the line that I just folded. So hopefully that makes sense. It's not the most scientific way to go about it, but it does get visually pleasing results for me, at least. So there's that pad. Now I'm going to do the same thing with this pad. And I'm using artificial sinew, and I just wrapped it a few times and just kind of pulled it tight enough that it didn't slip on itself, and it stayed on the fabric. And so here I'm just fan folding around this line, and by the end of this, I'll have 3 different parts of the dog paw that I will dye. I won't dye, I didn't fold the entire dog paw together. So here is the fan fold. And once again, once I get to the edge, then I'm just going to try and even out this side with the other, with the main area that I folded, or yeah, I folded this side, and then this is just kind of laid flat against the bottom of the main fan fold. And then I have my artificial sinew, and I'm just going to pull it tight. I may wrap it just a little bit more, and I'll leave a little bit of a tail on this. I'm going to cut that without cutting the bandana. Now I have some rubber bands, and I'm going to take the tail of the artificial sinew, and I'm just going to wrap that into this pad so that it doesn't get loose when I'm tying it or dyeing it, or when I move it around. And I'm going to cut this part as well without cutting the fabric, and I'm going to do the same thing on this pad with a rubber band and the artificial sinew, so that the pieces aren't kind of locked together. It gives me a little more room when I'm dyeing it. And I'm also going to put a rubber band on this main pad of the Dog Paw. Alright, so here is the main pad, and then the two kind of finger pads of the Dog Paw. Now I'm going to kind of just wrap these up so that they're not loose, and that will make the dyeing just slightly easier. I'm trying to make sure that there's no loose fabric of the background touching the paw itself. And then I'm going to take another rubber band, and I'm going to fold this up. And then I'll take that rubber band and bind these folds together. So there is our folded Dog Paw. Let's go dye it. I have my Dog Paw in front of me. I am in front of my dyeing rack, and it is just a refrigerator tray on top of a plastic tub. And you don't even have to use a plastic tub. You could use a cardboard box with newspaper in it to catch the excess dye. I'm using Procion MX Fiber Reactive dyes, and this is brown. It's a dark brown from dharmatrading.com. I'll have a link to the dyes that I use in the description below. And here, and I'm just trying to add enough dye that it will go most of the way through the bandana. That looks pretty good to me. And I'm going to turn it over and add some dye to this side. I don't really want the Dog Paw, the brown, on the outside of the design. And so one way to do that is just to kind of squeeze, and I've already kind of gotten some on the outside of the design, but that's okay. I'm just going to kind of squeeze the dye into the design, and if there's too much dye, it will drip out and not mess up the background of the paw. So that looks good to me. Now I have green, and I'm just going to do the background of the Dog Paw. I'm going to do it more or less solid green. I may just leave some white in there as well. And just by leaving white in there, I just won't put as much green. It won't go all the way through the fabric, but I'm going to make sure that there's green on the edges of the dog paw. And this looks good to me. I will put it in a plastic bag and let it sit for 24 hours before I wash it out. Thanks for watching. Have fun dyeing. I have the folded up and dyed dog paw in front of me. It's been washed out once, and I'm going to open it up now. I find if you wash it out and it goes through the spin cycle and the rinse cycle, it's a little bit easier to handle. There's not as much dye that you get on your hands at this stage. And I'll reuse the rubber bands if they don't break on me. I won't reuse this artificial sinew, just because I kind of find in the washout process it just kind of loses its properties that I like about it. But here is the opened up dog paw. I think it looks pretty good. Thanks for watching. Have fun dyeing.